You think we're gonna beat all these games?
Nope.
Backlog boys.
No, probably not.
We got something.
We're back home.
I mean, we're continuing with the fire.
Well, we had to go buy some more cheese.
Season 4.
And we don't have a Season 4 store yet, so we had to go back to another store to buy cheese.
But we found something.
And we found another pocket. So now we have 80 inventory slots.
It's pretty crazy.
That's amazing.
It suits, the story of Season 4.
Dude, bringing the fire. All day long.
Like, they just turn it up on every level.
Yeah, dude, the gas is flowing.
Dude,
Bunsen.
Our stats, we're
Bunsen.
turning them up.
Yeah.
Right? Our
Stats are getting turned.
inventory management, dude, pump it up.
What is that?
Right? Yeah. We don't need to do that.
Oh,
We're too good now.
more
What's
items.
this guy's name again?
Cheese. Claude.
Okay.
He's the one who showed us his bathing skills.
That's right, that people in the first town actually have names.
Yeah, they have
Just
normal
kinda
names.
generic names.
And then everything just kind of goes bonkers. So, yesterday on the show, we mentioned illegal driving.
Yes. Austin has a
due
story.
to legal blindness. I have done some illegal driving in my life that I will admit to right now for you
Is
all.
this the first time?
You can't buy cheese here? You can only buy bread? Dang. Okay. Well, we gotta go somewhere else.
What is... is this the first time you're sharing this?
No,
Okay.
this is nothing super risque or exciting. So we back when I was a teen, most people they start driver's ed when they're 15,
15, 16.
15 or so, yeah, and then by the time, they get a permit and they start learning and all that kind of stuff, and by the time they're 16 or so, they're ready to get their driver's license, take the driver's test, all that good stuff. Well, it didn't go that way for me.
Okay.
So
You had an alternative path?
yes, I took a different route. Oh, I didn't mean to say hello to you. I just want to buy things. He's got the cheese. So, that's a lot of cheese.
A lot of space.
Boom. That's beautiful.
Dude, Season 4.
Season 4.
Light that bomb up. See that bomb
Oh,
up?
do we have a bomb?
Light
I
it
gotta
up.
sell that.
Dude, light it up. We're blowing this popsicle stand. It's Season 4.
All right, let's get back to Sun and Moon Temple.
Okay.
So
End the story.
when I 15 or so rolled around, it's time for me to start learning how to drive, and my mom decided, oh hey, well we can do this like stay-at-home drivers thing, and I can just teach you how to drive. It's less expensive than paying for you to go to driver's ed, which was a huge deal for us, and then we can just kind of like make it up. Because we were supposed to like fill out this paperwork, and I missed a thing on this floor. We got to go back to floor 3.
Weird.
I didn't even notice that.
Me neither.
Oh, that must have been when Loops died, the second time,
Yeah.
something like that. And so my mom was just basically going to do it to where like I would learn how to drive, and then she would just make the paperwork look how it needed to.
Okay.
And and then I'd be able to go take the driver's test. And then
Were there like probably things where you had to do it had to technically be like X number of hours doing whatever.
right, and it had
like,
to.
it was just
and
we'll just do it.
X number of things were only supposed to happen after a certain number of months or weeks or whatever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we were just gonna basically fudge it all.
Okay.
Because my mom's cool, and so the way that plan backfired was we procrastinated,
Oh.
and then suddenly I was 16 already.
Okay.
And we hadn't done any of the stuff. And then it got to the point where I was 17. And like I had learned how to drive, but I wasn't driving because I didn't have a driver's license. Mm-hmm. And then my dad was teaching me how to drive and all this kind of stuff. And he was like upset that I didn't have my driver's license. And blah, blah, blah. And then what ended up happening was we got so lazy with our plan that it ended up being that it would have been less time consuming. Dang it. It would have been less time consuming for me to wait until I turned 18 where you can just take the driver's test without having completed any coursework or anything. So then we were just waiting for me to turn 18. And then I turned 18 and we walked into the DMV and I was ready to take my tests. and we wait in the super long line, and we get up to the counter, and then the lady says, "Oh, do you have your such and such with you?" And we didn't have that.
Okay.
And so we were like, shoot, we got to come back the next day. So that sucked. And then we went back like a week later with the thing that they told us that we didn't have the first time.
Yep.
And we brought that with us, and we waited in the super long line, and then we get up to the counter, and we're like, oh, hey, here's this thing we remembered this time. And they're like, oh, cool, well, we're not doing any more road tests today.
Oh,
so you can take your written test, but you can't take a road test until tomorrow.
Oh, man.
So I went and did my little electronic test.
Did you ace it?
And of course I aced it, because I read the little book that they give you beforehand. And it's super easy. And then like a week later, we went back and waited in a super long line. And then
Round
like
3.
Yep. And then they're like, oh, well, we're not doing any more road tests today.
God.
And it's like, well, okay, well, can we schedule a road test? No, you are not allowed to schedule a road test. It's first come, first serve. It's like, okay, well, how many road tests do you do in a day? Well, it depends on the officer on duty. And it's like, okay. And then basically it took us like 2 more times of going and getting turned away to find out that the only way to get a road test was to show up like super early in the morning before they opened and wait in line and then hope that you were not past the point in line where they would cut off the road tests.
Jesus.
And so then we just said, fuck it. You know, this is stupid.
Okay.
And one day, we woke up, and, like, I'm friggin' 18 years old, senior in high school. My mom's still driving me to school because I don't have a freaking driver's license. And so we wake up one morning, and my mom is, like, sick. She does not feel good. And I'm like, Mom, we gotta go to school. And we lived really close to my school, like 5-minute drive. And she's just like, just go. Just drive yourself.
Okay.
And, like, I hadn't driven that much.
Okay.
And I'd never really driven in traffic before. And I was like, are you serious? And she's like, yes, just go. You'll be fine. Be careful. No one's going to know that you don't have a license.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I wasn't worried about, like, the fact that I didn't have a license. I was just actually worried about my driving skills
safety.
not being up to par.
Yeah.
And people who drive in Dallas and my hometown are very aggressive, ruthless drivers. It's not like Minnesota where there's a stoplight to get on the highway and nobody goes more than 10 over most of the time. You know, like we're talking very vicious, ferocious drivers in Dallas. Like this main street that my house was connected to that led to my school, the speed limit's 45 and most people go 70. And it's because it's like 3 lanes both ways and it's like a major road. So I like pull out onto this road, driving in traffic for the first time, and like merging into traffic without the help of a stoplight and all this crap. And I drove to school and it was fine. And I drove home and it was fine. And then because it didn't go terribly, my mom was like,
Just keep doing it.
You want to just do that every day? And I was like, I guess so. And then I drove without a license until I was 24 years old.
Wow. That's a long time.
Yeah, so basically the reason why I didn't get my license at that point was not just because I didn't want to wake up early, even though that was a factor because I'm a lazy mofo when it comes to waking up in the morning. But it was also because, okay, I'm super confused. I do not see an Atla. There are no green dots on the map. Oh, I already got it. Okay.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I just forgot in the midst of my story, in the throes of narrative.
Yeah.
So the other reason that I chose not to get the license is because I was about to move up here to go to college in like a couple of months, and I wasn't going to have a car, and my school was in walking distance. So it was also like, I'm not going to need a driver's license for the next 4 years.
Yeah.
So I just moved up here without bothering to get it. And then when I graduated college, my mom mailed my car to me. And then I had a car because I needed a car because I moved out of downtown. And then I drove without a driver's license for another year.
Here?
Yes.
Nice.
Because when I lived with Bracky, I had him take me to the driver's test once. Because in Minnesota, you can schedule a driver's road test, which is very, very handy.
We got some good stuff going on here.
Yeah, you know, every once in a while, the state does something right. Shots fired. But so I scheduled the driver's test. Bracky took me, pretended to be my dad, which is really funny. He didn't actually have to pretend to be my dad, but he did it because it was funny.
That's great.
And I
That's actually really great.
And I took my road test with this super stiff, uptight lady, and I did a couple things not so great. And the place where I took the driver's test was super weird. It was unlike anything I could have possibly imagined for a driver's test. Like, I was expecting, you go out onto a regular road and you drive and they evaluate you and, they have you do various things and you do the parallel park and all that stuff.
Yep.
Well, this driver's exam station had its own, like, little Mario Kart
Yeah, that's what mine was.
course. The one up on, like, County Road I or whatever, up there in Arden Hills.
Oh, I went to like Maple Grove or something.
Oh,
or
okay.
Plymouth.
Yeah, it was super weird. It had like a miniature stoplight and all these weird road signs that you would never see in a normal scenario, just to throw you off. And like all these like weird situations
And like
that they can put you
random one ways where it's like
in.
it wouldn't
Right,
make
turning from a one-way into a two-way.
where it
and
wouldn't
like,
make sense to otherwise have a one way. Like
yeah,
in real life.
Yeah, and a 90-degree back in and all this crazy stuff. So
She looks great.
God, she looks so good. Charms, especially when she's using the power of Ho. And so I failed that driver's test.
Okay.
And Bracky was pissed at me. He was disappointed in his son, and I think it was another like year or so before I went and did another one because I didn't want to do one during the winter because I didn't like driving in the snow and I was afraid that, well, plus I knew I was never going to be pulled over for not having a driver's license.
Yeah.
You'd have
I'd have
to get pulled over for speeding or something else before somebody would know.
Yeah.
And my car was insured. So, I was playing it risky, obviously, anyways, but I had my faculties in order. And I was a good driver at that point.
Okay.
So I scheduled another driver's test for like 6 months out. For like after winter was over.
Okay.
Before winter had even happened, kind of thing.
Okay.
And I went, and I was super afraid that I was going to fail again because I knew that I was going to be at the same exam station. But I was trying to just be as ready as I could for all the weird stuff. And I had my exam with this guy who was super chill. And he gets in the car. He gets in the car, and he goes, "Name's Austin, huh? You from Texas?" People say that. People say that to me all the time. They think it's a joke. And then I'm like, "Yes." And then they're always like, "Oh, you really are, huh? Well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised." Whatever. And I was like, "Yeah, I'm from Texas." And the first thing he says after I said I was from Texas was, "They got a lot of snakes down there?" First question out of his mouth. And I was like, "Well, I'm from the city, but I've seen some snakes.
Okay.
I think there's more than here." And he's like, "Really?" And he was super interested. And like occasionally he'd be like, "Oh, turn here." Like he's totally not paying attention to what he's supposed to be doing.
Like he's just
And then I told him this epic snake story.
Okay.
That experience that I had in younger years with a rattlesnake, and he found the story so riveting that he completely forgot what he was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And then he just passed me.
Did you even do like the parking stuff?
Oh yeah, we did all the stuff, but like
so you did everything, but he wasn't like
he wasn't
grading
paying
you on the fly or anything.
Yeah, he wasn't paying very much attention. And granted, I probably did do better than the previous time, but I think it was the snake story that got me the driver's license.
Okay.
And then Bracky congratulated me.
I got something for you on the next episode.
Yeah, maybe I'll tell the snake story.
Okay.
Tomorrow on the boys.
I got a story too.
Oh man, tomorrow on the boys, 2 stories, 2 boys, 2 tales. The tale of 2 boys.
The Tale of Two Boys. That's what I was just thinking.
It was the best of times. It was Dark Cloud season 4.
Which is the best of times.